Wow. Good morning, Reds fans. What a 12 hours it has been. A crazy, but yet somewhat exciting 12 hours. So 12 hours ago, I was at the gym, just going through, my own workout. And halfway through the workout, I decided to just take a quick water break and kind of scroll on social media, just to do a quick check on what's going on. And the first thing that popped up on my Facebook news feed is a post from Liverpool's official Facebook page that says Arne Slot is sacked with immediate effect. No 3 day, no 1 month's notice, no nothing. See you, good night, thank you, bye bye. I was halfway through my gym routine, and I thought I just had to what? Hold on, Arne Slot is sacked. Wow, that came out. I'll be honest, even that news came out of nowhere. So I had to just finish. I just had to go on with my gym routine, just finish it up. Just have a nice decent workout. Went back home, tried to do a live stream, but I'm not really familiar with the live stream using my laptop, so I decided to do this video instead. And I think, ironically, it's given me more time to digest and think about what I want to say, rather than do a quick reaction like some of the other famous content creators who are Liverpool fans and rival fans as well. So it's now 9 a.m. in the morning. So it's like I said, it's about 12 hours after the news broke that Arne Slot has been sacked. First things first, let's really surmise Arne Slot's 2 years at Liverpool. When he came in, he had big shoes to fill. Let's be honest. All right, Jurgen Klopp spent 9 years, a decade, about a decade with Liverpool, re-establishing the identity of Liverpool back in the 70s and back in the 80s, and then putting his own spin on it, calling it heavy metal football. The results speak for itself. Jurgen Klopp won the whole set with us at Liverpool, providing some of the best football that we've seen. So when Jurgen Klopp left, who was selected, who was nominated, who was shortlisted to fill up the shoes that Jurgen Klopp has left behind. We had Xabi Alonso at the time, but he was managing Leverkusen. He was the first choice, but Alonso said no, and even now Alonso is going to Chelsea, but we all know that FSG did not think that Alonso was the right choice either. I remember the second name on that list was Ruben Amorim. But Ruben Amorim, as you found out with Manchester United, he plays 3 at the back, so on and so forth. They didn't feel that it was the right fit, so they didn't go with Amorim. Thank God he didn't go with Amorim. Thank God FSG did not choose Ruben Amorim. So Arne Slot was the third person in that shortlist. And FSG decided to go with Arne Slot in the end. Jurgen Klopp gave his blessing, the famous singing of Arne Slot, la 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 la. And to be fair to Arne Slot, when he came into Liverpool, he came in with no fanfare. There wasn't as far as I know, there wasn't an official unveiling with him holding up the Liverpool banner and all that. So he came with no fanfare. And there were only 2 signings made at the time. Mamardashvili, who was loaned back to Valencia, and the other one, obviously, Federico Chiesa. Yet somehow, Arne Slot made it work with just a few tweaks. Playing a double pivot, Gravenberch at number 6, McAllister next to him, and Szoboszlai at the number 10. The first 8 games, I think about the first 8 games, and other than the surprise loss to Forest at Anfield, other than that, the rest of the games we played very well. In fact, I think we won all those games, other than that loss. And then there was a period of time in October where there was a series of marquee matches, like against Chelsea, against Arsenal, I think against Real Madrid, so on and so forth. That period of games, I think we didn't lose a game. We did not lose a game. In fact, the only game we drew, as I recall, was against Arsenal at the Emirates 2-2. Other games we won 2-1, 1-0, 2-0, so on and so forth. My concern at the time was not the fixtures in October, as you may recall. My concern was Liverpool's Achilles heel, and that's the winter schedule. And that was the one I was really worried about, because even though we were at the top at Christmas, but that winter fixtures, that series of winter matches, right? That was Liverpool's Achilles heel all this time. Every time we finished second, when we were at the top at the mid-season, it's always because of that period of time. But Arne Slot managed to navigate Liverpool through that period of time. Even though we did have a few draws, we drew against Everton at Goodison Park. We drew against Forest at City Grounds, 3-3 against Newcastle at St James's Park. But thankfully, the other teams, the teams that were second behind us at the time, could not capitalize. So because of that, we marched on forward, and eventually Arne Slot won the Premier League, the 20th league title, putting us on par with Manchester United. So that was when FSG say, okay, we won the league, very significant achievement with Arne Slot in his first season, the first Dutch manager, to my knowledge, correct me if I'm wrong, but the first Dutch manager to win the Premier League. That's significant. So FSG decided to say, okay, it's time to play with the big boys, now that Arne Slot has proven himself. What do? Spend big. Wirtz, Ekitike, Isak, Frimpong, Kirkis, especially the double record £100 million signing with Wirtz and Isak. And even though we struggled for the first 5 games, because again, when you have these new players in one go, the team needs time to gel and all that. Even though we struggled, the first 5 games, we won. We were at the top of the league after 5 games, 5-0-0, perfect start. But at Selhurst Park was where everything crumbled. 5 losses in a row. 6 losses in 7 games. Somehow the connection was lost from then on, and the rest is history. I don't have to say much. So in the end, FSG, through the petition, through players' displeasure, fans rallying to say, hey, Slot must go. Now, eventually, FSG has listened, and now Arne Slot is gone. So what do I think of the legacy, if any, for Arne Slot at Liverpool? I think as we look back, let's be fair to Arne Slot. I was one of the people who said that I'll give Arne Slot until the end of the season, which just ended, and then after that, just leave. So basically, as a fan, I got what I wanted. But I must give credit to where credit's due to Arne Slot, because he did win the league with us, our 20th league title after all. So 2 years, 1 Premier League title. Most short-term managers do not get that claim to fame. Most managers, short-term managers, do not get that honor. I think in the Premier League, the only other person that I can think of that won a Premier League title in 2 years managing a club, as far as I know, actually there are 2 of them. Antonio Conte with Chelsea, and Pellegrini with Manchester City. because Roberto Mancini, he spent 3 years with Man City and he won the league title in between. So Arne Slot is in a very unique company, if you want to put it that way. As far as being a Liverpool head coach manager is concerned, he will never be a GOAT tier Liverpool manager. I don't think he'll ever be a great Liverpool manager. But I will say that he's a successful manager. Anytime a Liverpool manager wins trophies, any trophy, in my opinion, that is proof that you can succeed at Liverpool, and you are a successful manager at Liverpool. So I will give Arne Slot that, because in his 2 years at Liverpool, he did win a trophy, and he won maybe the most significant trophy that you can win in 2 years in managing Liverpool, and it's the 20th league title that puts us once again on par with Manchester United. So Slot is gone, but thank you, Arne Slot. Thank you for managing Liverpool these last 2 seasons. It's time to move on. Wish you all the best. Speaking of wish you all the best, let's move forward. Now that Slot is gone, there is a short list, of course, as to who's going to be the next Liverpool head coach / manager. You know, call it whatever you want. I don't care. At the front of the list, former Bournemouth head coach manager. I hope I get his name right this time. Iraola. Other names would include Nagelsmann. From Stuttgart, there's this guy called Sebastian Hoeneß. There's even talk now that Luis Enrique has won the Champions League last night with PSG, that maybe he might be just in that short list, the odds of him coming to Liverpool. I don't mind any of these names. Who wouldn't want PSG's Luis Enrique at Liverpool? Iraola, the front runner to succeed at Liverpool. He has not won any trophies, obviously, but I think he's a younger manager. I think he has a lot to offer. The football he plays, just see how he managed Bournemouth to 6th place this season, despite losing key players like Kirkis and Senesi and Semenyo. He still managed to guide Bournemouth to 6th place, and now they're playing Europa League next season. So that shows the pedigree of Iraola. Nagelsmann, he's managing in the World Cup as far as I know, so I don't think he'll come over. Sebastian Hoeneß, someone who plays heavy metal football with Stuttgart, so that's an option. Let me, just for the purposes of this short list, let me throw another name in there, and some of you might not think of him as Liverpool manager. But if you can, in 1 year, win an FA Cup, a Community Shield, and the Conference League for a team that for over a century has never won a major trophy, then surely Oliver Glasner's name has to be in that short list. In 1 year, Crystal Palace, who have never won a single trophy before he came in, or a single major trophy before he came in, they beat Man City in the FA Cup. They beat us in the Community Shield, albeit through penalties. And they won their first European trophy. And by the way, they won the European trophy before Arsenal. Side jab. But they won the Conference League. And they're going to be playing in Europa League next season. It shows Oliver Glasner's pedigree, credibility, And by the way, Glasner lost Mark Gahey to Man City and Eze to Arsenal, and Eze just won the league with Arsenal. So I think Oliver Glasner is a shout as well. Albeit people will think you guys watching out there, you might be thinking, but wait, Glasner plays three at the back. How is he going to fit with Liverpool? How is he going to manage Liverpool with his system? Well, let me just put it like this: he does have a system, like you said, like you guys might have guessed, three at the back. But think about the players that we have right now under his disposal: Van Dijk, Joe Gomez, Xhaka. We hope Konate stays. Otherwise, right now it's these three. We add one or two more centre backs to just cover that. Endo is coming back. He could play centre back. Gravenberch could play centre back as well. And then you have Kirkis and Frimpong as the wing backs, because that's their natural positions. Wing backs, not full backs, right? And then you have Szoboszlai in the middle two with, let's say, Gravenberch. If not, McAllister is in there. Jones, if he doesn't go to Inter, he can be in that front two as well. In a number 10, Florian Wirtz, his natural position. Think about this for a second. His natural position, Florian Wirtz. Up front, there's Isak. Now Mo's not coming back, but there's still Cody Gakpo who can play in the striker position. And when Ekitike comes back, he's going to play in the striker partnership with Isak, with Wirtz behind them. So that's three, your front three attack. There is our front three attack with our wing backs bombing. So Glasner could fit that system. Could fit our place into his system, 3-4-2-1. Why not? Or 3-4-1-2 if you want to. That's all fine as well. So I think Glasner could be in that name, and I'll be happy if FSG pick Glasner as well. So why not? That's my case for Oliver Glasner. So there's your short list, right? Iraola is at the top of the list, which again I'm fine if he comes in, no problem. Nagelsmann, Hoeneß, Luis Enrique will be the top pick. My personal pick will be Oliver Glasner. So who would you want to be in the hot seat, the head coach position for Liverpool now that Arne Slot is gone? So let's just wrap it up with last night as well, with the Champions League. PSG, back-to-back Champions League winners, beating Arsenal on penalties. Okay, I've mixed feelings. Let's put it this way. I mean, it wasn't easy for Arsenal to reach the final. It wasn't easy for PSG to reach the final. And Arsenal could have been in a shout to win it last night. When Kai Havertz scored in the 5th or 6th minute. Very good. It was a very good pressing, very good counter-attack. The front four of Arsenal, they pressed PSG. PSG's back five, if you will. So it was very good. The defensive shape was very good off the ball for Arsenal. And they got the just rewards when they countered into when they did the counter-attack in that 5 minutes, in the first 5 minutes, and Kai Havertz scored. Wonderful goal, wonderful strike, 1-0. But after that, it seemed like they kept that defensive shape and they allowed PSG to pile on the pressure. Towards the end of the first half, PSG, they had, I think, at least 3 or 4 chances from set pieces, and they could have scored if Fabian Ruiz had the shooting boots on. If Dembele could shoot from the outside, if their perimeter shot was good, then PSG would have taken a stranglehold before half time. Second half, there was a penalty, but I believe PSG kept on the pressure, so that resulted in the penalty that Dembele has converted, and then just stayed that way, back and forth until it went to penalties. And you feel sorry for Gabriel Magalhaes, who missed the 5th and decisive penalty. It's a shame that to decide a winner, it had to be to a penalty shootout. But that's the nature of penalty shootouts. We would know. 21 years ago, back in Istanbul, we were 3-0 down against AC Milan, but we fought back and we stayed there into penalties, and we beat AC Milan on penalties 3-2. So it's a cruel way if you're an AC Milan fan, if you think back to that night in Istanbul. but that's the nature of penalty shootouts. So unfortunately for Arsenal, the quest for the first major European trophy continues. You know, they could have wrapped up the dominance of English football in Europe this season with winning the Champions League trophy. After all, Aston Villa won the Europa League, Crystal Palace won the not Champions League, that would be crazy, but they did win the Conference League, and you would think that hopefully Arsenal would win the Champions League, but unfortunately that's not the case. And do Arsenal have themselves to blame? Maybe. They have to look at themselves. I think because their defensive shape was really, really good, you know, they relied too much on their defensive shape when they don't have the ball. So I think in that sense, they allowed PSG to formulate a plot as the match goes on the spot, which PSG and Luis Enrique is very good at that. You know, so you think of the way they played in the semifinals against Bayern Munich. So Luis Enrique said it was a change of tactics. So so I think if Arsenal took the initiative, if they did press, but also try and win the ball back and counter, I believe they could have had a stranglehold. So unfortunately, I think this one's on Arsenal. So I feel bad for some of the famous Arsenal fan content creators, like someone who I just found out was no, it still is a brother in Christ, DT, my man. I feel gutted for you, bro. But you know what? Arsenal still won the Premier League, so there's something for you to celebrate. Some of the other people like Troops. It's real. I feel sorry for you guys, man. Curtis, gutted, bro. But you know what? You guys still won the Premier League, so go ahead and celebrate later on today. Celebrate your Premier League triumph, because you know what? After 22 years, you finally won the Premier League. Go for it. You know, celebrate it. Put this loss behind you. You know, and just enjoy the parade, because again, you won Arteta's won a major trophy, the Premier League. Succeeded Arne Slot. But with that said, here's a final message. And it's kind of fitting that a few years ago, somebody called Don Robbie said this famous phrase. And you know what? Now that Slot has left, and there's a new manager coming, I'll put it this way. Liverpool's biggest signing this season will be whoever the new head coach would be. And it's ironic that I'm saying this. I'm saying what Robbie once said. But here's a warning. A warning shot, if you will, to all of the Premier League. Not just Arsenal, obviously. But to quote Don Robbie, we got bigger fish to fry. And by the way, Robbie, thanks for the fried fish. See you in the next video.